Yo, so when you guys are playing Ark Survival, you guys all know if you're a noob or an idiot or a dummy or just a beginner, you all make some mistakes and have some big regrets. So today, we're gonna go over some of the biggest ones. So not using a whip is probably one of the biggest regrets I see everyone making in Ark Survival, because a whip, these things are so underrated. They can literally help you so much when you're getting trapped or you're getting picked up by somebody, another player on a bird, an ARGY. If you hit somebody with a whip, they will fall off along with you. You will fall down. And if you have a parachute equipped it as well, you will be safe and sound. So the amount of times that I see people get picked up with ARGYs and then they're like, oh god, I'm screwed, because you can't bola an ARGY. So the only way to get out of an ARGY's grasp is with a whip. So if you're traveling on foot or maybe in the sky on a tame or just on a tame in general, always have a whip, because these things will save your life so many times. So not over preparing is another big regret I see a lot of people doing. A lot of people just think, oh, I don't need to over prepare, you know, I'll look on the dodo decks, get the exact amount of tranks or ammo or whatever I need to kill or tame or knock out whatever you're doing. You just don't over prepare. You do the exact minimum that you need to get, and you don't really think about any, you know, expenses or any problems that you could run into. So maybe when you're knocking something out, you know, a couple of the shots with the trank arrow doesn't render in and it doesn't count. So then you're screwed, and, you know, that thing, the torpor, is going to go all the way back up and you're screwed. Or maybe if you're killing something and you don't bring quite enough ammo, you know, whatever you're killing, it will start regaining health, or maybe someone else will come over and kill it. Base locations. Guys, let me tell you, you already know these are very important in Ark Survival, and I see a lot of dummies out there, they're going out and they're making bases like in the worst possible spot. So if you're making a base location, either look up a base location video on YouTube, I have a couple, or, you know, just find a location that there are a lot of resources around. So obviously metal and crystal, that is very vital and you need that. But if you build in a location with a lot of metal, but, you know, you're just starting out and there's no water, you're gonna be dying every literally 5 minutes, especially if you're on Lava Island. You will die so often. So make sure you're building a base where there is a lot of resources, water, everything that you need to really survive, unless you don't and you just want to build in a really harsh location, but you're able to. So the next one is slowly raiding bases. It could be stone, it could be wood, whatever it is. But guys, if you're sitting there for literally longer, I say, than like 5 minutes trying to break into a base, if there's no turrets on it and you're just trying to break into a base, it should literally take under 30 seconds. But if you're sitting there, you know, freaking mining away the whole thing, wasting like an hour just trying to break in with a pickaxe onto a wooden structure or even a stone structure. Stone structures take so long. Like, I don't know why anyone would do this, but it's a huge regret, and you do not, let me tell you, want to waste all this time. Like, you could be grinding, doing other things, making grenades. You don't want to be sitting there for an hour doing this. Also, dying with CRYOPODs. So the CRYOPODs are a new addition to Ark Extinction, and what these things do, if you don't know already, you can trap dinos, tame dinos in them, and then place them back down, kind of like a Pokeball. But pretty much these things, if you die with them, you will lose everything in them. And I see a lot of players, you know, they regret it, but they die with these things. And if they have like a perfect tame Giga, for example, inside of it, you will lose it, because if someone goes up to your dead body and takes it, it's gone. Obviously, if you get to your dead body before someone else does, you'll have it back. But these things, they're very dangerous, you know, if you don't use them the right way. So on top of that, building up late game. So if you guys are trying to build up, make sure you build up when the server first comes out, or if the server is like non-populated and you can travel over to other servers to raid, whatever you want to do, but just make sure that you're not building up on a really populated server that's like 2,000 days in. Because let me tell you, it is very hard to do that. There's already alphas established, there's already like alliances and everything. There's unspoken rules in the server that you probably don't know about, like probably, for example, like no raiding you know, these certain allies because the alpha will attack you or something like that. So just try to build up early game if you are going to play. And I know servers aren't really added too often, but when they are, make sure you hop on them right away. And if you are going to build up late game, definitely build up fast, because you do not want to be raided when you're trying to start out late game. Also, surviving on rare flowers, rare mushrooms, also the same thing, but rare flowers, these things have a debuff that pretty much makes it so that all of the dinos around you the wild dinos will chase you. Literally chase you. It is so bad. So if you're trying to survive off these things, because they give about the same amount of food as cooked meat would, but the only thing is that these things will make everything chase you. So obviously this is probably really good for taming, but when you're just out and about trying to have fun, it's not the best thing, because you're looking around, there's like ARGYs and raptors and everything freaking chasing you. It is so annoying. But I do recommend that you guys just, cook up some meat. Don't be lazy. And if you are going to use these things, make sure that you are prepared for a ton of dinos to be chasing after you for a long period of time, because the debuff stays on for about 20 to 30 seconds. So recruiting new players to the tribe is a really good thing. You have more players to grind and everything, but if you're recruiting noobs, it's going to be a huge regret of yours, because the only thing you're going to have to do is train these people, and if they have 0 hours of the game under their belt, they have absolutely no clue what they're doing. Therefore, they are going to be horrible at the game. So I do recommend, if you guys are gonna actually invite new players, make sure that they're trained, or at least they look up what they're doing, so they're not completely dumb and look like idiots when they're in the game and mess everything up, because that is the worst thing that could really happen. You're just trying to grind, then you got Billy over here who's freaking running around punching pteranodons, not doing anything, and just being a huge freaking noob. It is the worst thing. But on top of that, telling stories. So this is a huge regret I see a lot of people do. Oh god, it's so funny. So when you're just trying to tell a story about something that happened, or maybe you're giving commands to your tribe mates and telling them what to do, when they're not listening and they're grinding or something, you could tell a whole story, like a 5-minute story, and then you're like, yeah guys, am I right? They don't listen to a single thing you said, and they're just like, yeah man, that's funny. Or if you're trying to be like, yo bro, can you just get some metal, go grind out, and they don't listen at all. It's a huge regret. So if you're gonna tell somebody something, make sure that they're focusing on what you're saying and not spacing out or not doing something else, and they actually acknowledge you, because trust me, it is very embarrassing when they don't. On top of that, no game audio. So game audio is very important while playing Ark Survival, because you can hear things that are coming up from behind you, or from sideways. If you can't see it, you can hear it. So if there's a raptor coming up behind you, boom, that thing is going to tackle you and you are completely dead. So I do recommend that you guys use game audio. Some people, they just don't have the money to buy a headset or whatever, but if you are using a TV, make sure you turn up the volume. You definitely want to. Trust me, if you don't, you're just gonna die 24/7. It is the worst thing trying to play with no game audio, because you have no sense of what's coming after you, and you're literally just cutting off one of the 2 senses that you can really use in Ark Survival to your advantage. The first one being sight, and the second one being the ability to hear. But also, taming low-level birds, this is another huge regret you're going to have. When you go out and tame a low-level bird, and you try to spin move with these things, they will go down almost instantly, because they have literally no stamina. Some of the worst pteranodons I've tamed have literally under 200 stamina. Let me tell you, that is horrible. Back in the good old days of Ark, birds and pteranodons, they would have literally over 1,000 stamina when you're trying to tame them. The lowest I've seen was 600 back then, but now the lowest is literally 1 to 200. It is so bad. So if you're going out to tame a pteranodon or something, try to tame a high level. I mean, it's probably only going to take an extra hour of your time, because with the 3 times rates and 3 times taming and all that, they are very quick to tame. Even with raw meat, you don't really need much. On top of that, guys, grinding without an ARGY. So ARGYs, if you don't know, with the new TLC phase or TLC pass, whatever you call it, pretty much these things were buffed so that they literally take half the amount of weight that a normal bird would when holding metal. So holding metal in these ARGYs is much better than trying to hold it in a low-level bird, because the low-level birds, every single time, they're just gonna freaking never be able to hold anything. You might be able to squeeze in 100 metal into that low-level bird, but if you're not near your base, it's definitely not worth it. But if you tame an ARGY, on the other hand, and that thing has 1,000 weight, holy crap, you can hold literally almost 1,000 metal in that thing, probably even more. It's incredible. But also, the last one here, not trapping dinos. So before you guys want to go knock something out, let's say it's early game and you're trying to knock out a freaking parasaur or something, you're going to regret it if you don't trap this thing with Ebola first, because you're going to be running around trying to knock this thing out, or trying to kill it on top of that. But it is so bad, you literally have to sprint, you're going to run out of stamina. And the parasaurs, if you don't have enough movement speed, they are actually kind of fast. So guys, just don't do it. Don't regret it. All you have to do is use Ebola and trap the thing. And boom, that's all you have to do, guys. So if you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications, because I post bangers every single day, almost, sort of, kind of, every once in a while. But make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, hopefully soon. Peace.